The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
A wonderful way to start your day. More interviews, more fun. This is Sandy Kastel.
To the Sandy Kastel Show. I have Marco Varela here with me today. And you know what? It's been such a long time since we've really sat down and talked, but I just saw you in this wonderful event that was over at the Smith Center, and you were actually doing the emceeing for the show.
Correct.
And it was beautiful. It was the music of Copland in Mexico, but also they had this other artist that had this violinist that had also, composed music, and I forgot his name.
Oh, that was Revueltas. Silvestre Revueltas is the Mexican composer.
Sylvester
Revueltas.
Oh, well, I need practice on that, folks. I can do, but okay. So it was such a great event, listening and learning about when Copland was actually influenced by all that music in Mexico, and then also the other Sylvester, talented violinist who died at 40 years old. He was so young.
I know. And I learned a lot from that as well, because I didn't realize how much music he had done.
Yes.
It was very nice to know how Copland was influenced by this guy's music down there. And I didn't know that this composer Revueltas had studied in the States. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine. He was in the States already. He goes back, and then Coppola goes to Mexico to discover him.
I know, and so I really enjoyed it, and I was sitting there, and then they showed this TV show, the movie, the film that he did the music to, not Copland, but the other gentleman. And I just can't say his last name. Sorry.
Silvestre.
Silvestre.
There you go.
Okay. But the film was about the fishermen.
Correct.
And it was done back in the 30s, right?
Correct.
And it was a movie that could be shown today.
Right.
I mean, except it was, it's from that era and everything. So, but the message was still the same.
Correct.
Here they are. These are the craftsmen, so to speak. They're out there, they're fishing, and they're bringing the fish back to the other people that pay them for their work, and then they pay them like pennies. Centavos.
Right.
Right?
That sounds like today's world.
Today's world, I know. And so then at the end, finally, of course, then they get together, and decide that they're going to go and stand up for themselves so that they can have their own fishing whatever,
cooperative,
group, corporate, yes, or union, but and then of course stand up for themselves. But through that process, all the things that they went through was amazing. But not only that, watching the big screen and then listening to the live orchestra,
right? That
playing
was
Silvestre's music.
Correct, and that was a treat.
Yeah,
that
was wonderful. Treat. Yeah.
It also showed how the film industry worked back then, because they have to do it live, now it's when they do
wait, you mean they had to play the music live while the film was showing?
That's how they started, which is why when the film sound, when they actually added sound to the film strip, all those live musicians went out of business.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because it was one, and I know at one point when they had voices and the music obviously played, then they couldn't, play the
right. So it was just basically musicalizing, films with no sound.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah, they were silent films, but they had the music and being played by the orchestra.
And now we have Star Wars. Now it's a big deal when we have Star Wars live.
Well, now it's all digital. It's all digital. I don't know that anything's really live anymore. But so anyway, that was a wonderful experience. And when I saw you up there, I went, "Oh my gosh, it's Marco!"
I heard you. I loved it.
And I was like, bravo!" But I thought you might be singing.
But that would have been very nice.
That wasn't a singing show. That was all the music.
Right.
Playing.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved with doing that project?
Well, actually, I'm involved with several groups on social media that request people for auditions for different projects, and I just happened to see that.
Oh, so you got it through an audition through what was it, Facebook?
With Facebook,
right?
But you have to be in the right groups where they're showing all of these gigs or auditions for various plays or and I just happened to sit down at that time of the day, because you know how Facebook just kind of rolls, and there's so much stuff
changed
going.
A lot, yeah.
So I just happened to see that, and I texted the person who put it there, like, do they still need somebody? And goes, yeah, we just put this up. And I just sent an email, and I introduced myself, and I sent them my resume. I told them they were looking for an actor. I said, well, here's my SAG card, and they liked that, so they sent me a copy of the script that I read, and they wanted me to read a section in English and a section in Spanish. And I had to figure out what app to download on my phone,
so you can
and then learn
it,
so I can record myself, and then put it on YouTube so that they can send them the link to YouTube. So that was a learning experience, like
just doing the audition,
just doing the audition, and I feel lucky that I got it, because I don't know. I mean, when you're talking about the Las Vegas Philharmonic, I mean, I would think they would get thousands of offers, people that would want to do it. So I think what helped me was that I've been doing voiceovers for over 15 years. So you can have a script or anything and read it in a way that's more interesting, or for
intelligibly.
The people. Right.
Yes, and you did an excellent job. And then when you went into Spanish, was it Spanish you were speaking? Yes.
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah, and now I'm speaking Spanish. And then they had the text up there so we could see what they were saying.
Yeah, and you were saying. And that's what they wanted. They wanted somebody who could also read the Spanish or speak the language, so they could.
It was seamless. It was like you were just there, and it was natural, and you did an excellent job.
One of the things they told me is that when you read as Copland, because I had my own tech rehearsal just with the composer. I mean, just with the
band, the
conductor, no orchestra.
Oh,
the
just
first
with
time
him.
it was just going through the whole program, just reading it by myself, and the conductor was just oh yeah, this is where we play this. Okay, now read the next one. And I had another gentleman down there asking and requesting, well, this was a bit too fast. Oh, we need more energy here. Oh, we need this more. So I was just, you got to make the notes right away and deliver, because you don't have time. Then it was with the orchestra. Then we went through the whole thing, but now with the orchestra. And then they didn't need me for the Saturday, because there was another rehearsal Saturday morning that I was supposed to attend, but they called me, no, they're happy what you did, see you at night. I was like, oh, I could have used another one, but okay.
Well, it was great. It was great. It was nice to see you up there. And now I want to hear about everything else you've been doing.
Oh boy. Okay. How far back?
Wait. It's been a few years, so we may have to do a little bit of quick catch up. But...
Well, I'm still involved with Opera Las Vegas.
Yes.
I think they're the best group in town from all the other groups that give opera, in the sense that, not because nobody else is taking it seriously, but because these guys have the relationships that help them bring talent that have sung at the Met.
Okay.
And also they have a conductor that still works at the Met, and they bring that. And of course we have a professional orchestra. So it's a Met production in Las Vegas. And they're still growing. Right now they're just doing one opera per year, 2 performances of one opera per year. And through the rest of the year they do small concerts to raise money for the next one. Hopefully they'll grow enough that they can do 3 or 4 or 5 performances of the same opera, or maybe split it into 2 different operas, because even the costumes and the staging are brought. I mean, everything is
brought from the
top
Met?
notch. Yeah.
Wow. I know that we don't have an opera house here.
Right.
And I know that's been something that I've spoken with a couple of the opera groups, because there are a few in town, like you said. And I know that we'd like to get something like that. I think it would be wonderful. Do you feel that we have enough interest in opera now in Las Vegas that we could have an opera house and keep it going all year long?
I think so. I mean, right now we have a little over 2 million people in Las Vegas, and a lot of these people were not born here. They're born in LA and New York, and they're used to seeing these kinds of programs back there.
Yeah.
So if they were to get an arrangement with the Smith Center, so that they could produce their opera at the Smith Center.
Well, that might be a little challenging.
But think about it. It's sort of the chicken. It's the chicken and the egg, right?
Yeah.
If the guys from the Smith Center would give them a break on the price and give it let's do this as a partnership, I think that would change the whole game.
I think that's a big if.
You know.
Yeah.
But then you have everything perfect for it. Then that would become the opera house. That's the house right now for the Philharmonic. Why couldn't it be for the opera?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what arrangement they have with the Philharmonic, but they could certainly help out at the beginning, you know, and then as everything gets more popular, then you charge more until you get to whatever you would charge normally.
Right. Okay, so that's a good idea, but that's using the Smith Center.
Right. I mean,
I'm saying, do you think that
will be cheaper than getting a whole opera house
building
right
a whole
now.
opera house?
Right.
So
if we can fill the Smith Center, I don't see how we can justify building an opera house.
So we're not filling the Smith Center right now.
We don't have
have we had any performances there?
No, everything's at the university, at the Judy Bailey Theater.
At the Judy Bailey. Well, that seats about what?
300, 400 tops.
Really? That's all?
Yeah, that's it.
In the Judy Bailey Theater?
Yeah, across from Ham Hall.
Yeah, I know where it is. I thought it seated a lot.
I'd rather do it.
I thought it seated a lot more.
Yeah, well, it's about that, but no more than that.
Yeah.
If anything, maybe they should switch it over to Ham Hall, which seats about 1,600.
And then
see
if
how
they can fill that.
Correct.
See if they can fill that.
Correct. And then if that works, then you can go over to the Smith Center.
Right. Well, UNLV has a great staff over there, you know, so it is a nice place. But it'd be nice to get at the Smith Center too, if we could.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? It's and I know that when they first built the Smith Center, they were supposed to be teaming up with some of these organizations, and that kind of changed. You know, they're able to use the facility, but they still have to pay. From what I understand. Yeah. So.
Give them a break. Come on.
Smith Center, please give us a break. We need a break. All right. So, what about you personally?
Well, let's see. About 2 years ago, a friend of mine who went to film school, he put on Facebook, because now everything's on social media, that he needed 12 directors to put together a full feature. And the movie was going to be called Phobia, and each one of the 12 was going to do a short film about one phobia.
Right.
And then he was going to put it all together and tie it all together to make the full feature. So I raised my hand, so to speak, and I said, well, let me try that, because, see, opera and film is very similar in the sense that you have to get all the elements together. You know, everybody's an actor in opera. We just sing our lines.
That's right.
You know, you have to get the costumes, you have to rehearse the music, memorize it, the sets, the whole thing, except you're not videotaping it. So that helped me to pick the phobia I wanted. I went to the Google and said, what's a script, you know? Because I know a lot of the theater actors, then I went to them to help me with this short film. I got the locations, I got the crew, the whole thing. For 11 minutes, it took me 4 months to do, because you have to work with everybody's schedules and so on and so forth. And
there's a story.
Yeah, well,
did you create the story?
Yeah. I wrote everything, directed it, the whole 9 yards. It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
I could tell people what to do. No, but I had to learn a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a business major, so I'm very organized, very logical, what needs to happen.
I could use some of that business stuff.
Sure. So I was very organized, once you start learning and, reading and stuff, and you put what you need to do first and so on. I was the first one that turned it in and everybody else already had, their experience. And so now I had to wait for everybody else to do their part. And in the meantime, I was on a roll. I wanted to continue.
You want to do more.
So to me, it was obvious to move to the next step, which was not do another short, because there's no money in shorts. I thought, well, a full feature, it's obvious, right? Ignorance is bliss. So I started with, writing thinking of a story, writing script, buying books about how to write a script, and going to seminars and polishing. I'm still polishing, but it's to the point. It took me like 10 months, almost a year to do that, because you don't get inspired every day.
Right.
It's like you write in spurts, and then you have whatever, once you have the whole thing, if you decide, oh, this would be fun here, you have to realize that it affects everything else.
Everything afterwards. Or everything before even sometimes, because then you have to put the back
set
history
it up, right,
to get to that point, right.
And that's where you don't write, you rewrite.
Character development, story development, yes,
right.
It's all, because each of us in our lives have our history, and everything that we've gone through makes us who we are today, and that's what a lot of writing is about when you write a novel or you write a
I mean, I wasn't writing anything that I went through. I was writing, I thought, I there's no way that I could possibly guess what people like. So I'm going to write a story that I would pay to go see. And then you like to write because it's fun. If you want to write a movie about 10 Lamborghinis, thrown by a helicopter to the ground and blow them up, then you can do that. I think I
just saw that recently,
right? So once I had that, then you go find a line producer, and those guys analyze your script, and based on what you put in there, the elements that you put in there, they tell you, okay, well, if we're going to do this in Hollywood and everybody's SAG, it's going to cost you, in my case, $7.3 million. Is that all?
That's
really?
all, yeah.
Well, for Hollywood, I hear that's peanuts. Well, it's a lot of money for me. The other thing that he gave me was the approximate film schedule. So each day, what you can do, what you film when everybody knows their stuff. So I have that. And in order to cut costs, I found there's a film studio in Bulgaria that the Hollywood people use because it's 80% cheaper than doing it here in the States.
They just have to fly over there.
well, that's nothing.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you go there,
everything.
They're set. They have like two 15,000 square foot sound studios. They have a whole block of Manhattan. They have a Roman Coliseum.
That's already built.
Set. Yeah.
Right.
And I just found out 2 days ago they have a location for mine. So
good.
They sent me all the pictures that I needed. I'm waiting for them to give me their budget. But just from the production standpoint, because there's no way that they're going to be able to tell me how much I'm paying the actors and the directors and the director of photography and all of that stuff. But at least if I can, reduce by half or more the production, then it's less money I need to look for.
Yes, from your investors.
Correct. So how do you get involved? And then you get into the investor thing where the first group, they wanted me to put 10% down. That's not going to happen. The other one, it was like $100,000, which not going to happen. So now I'm waiting for a third person this week that seems interested, So I'm seeing what's going to happen with that.
Good.
I have a composer who's, instead of having an A-list actor, I have an A-list composer. This guy, his name is Dan Weniger. He wrote the music for The Martian with Matt Damon. He wrote music for one of the Spider-Man and one of the James Bond. So that's the first guy of the team that I need to put together so that the investors feel good about investing with me. About 2 months ago, I got in touch with Luc Lafontaine, who worked as a stunt coordinator for the movie Iron Man.
Iron Man?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Right. Hey, thank you. So I have two really cool guys that already like the story, and they're willing to go at it once I get funded. So the more the better the team,
right,
the faster everything starts to move. And I put that on IMDb, and they have this chart that says how many people are watching, and it's going up pretty quick. So they're noticing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to take a quick break because
Okay.
I know we've got some sponsors out there that want to share about their products and everything.
Sure.
And then we're going to be right back with Marco Varela after a message from our sponsors.
Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. So it's not a bad idea every now and then to check your battery. If you don't know how to do it, have somebody check it for you. Just a visual inspection can tell you a lot about your battery. So as we can see here, this battery's got a hold down. It's nice and tight. The cables are on. They don't look bad. We've got a cover. We don't see any corrosion. Everything's kind of tight, looking good. A little bit of dirt, that's normal, but nothing's leaking, no real cause for alarm here. So that's a good sign. Doesn't mean it's good, but at least visually we know that it's intact. Okay, so we're looking at a battery here that shows signs of corrosion. We want to test that battery to make sure it's good. Usually when they're getting like this, there's going to be a problem, leaking some acid at the top. We ran the test and we find out it has 396 cold cranking amps, but the battery requires 650. So it's just not enough. The battery is going to go soon. Better to know now than later. Okay, so the benefits of checking the cable is because this cable's rotted out. What we'll find is this is the problem, not the battery. So it'll save you from buying a battery, still having the no start, only to find out that it's a cable. This type of corrosion is common in diesels. Okay, so we're getting ready to jump the car, but we have to have some battery cables. And we have to check those too before we hook them up to the battery. So here we have our standard set of battery cables. We just look them over, see if the ends are frayed, if everything's connected all right. Everything looks good here. Wouldn't hurt to check the rest of the cable just to make sure the dog didn't get it and chew it up. We have red and black. Red's positive, black's negative. You always want to hook the positive up first and then the negative. And I'll show you how that's done right now. Keep these off to the side so they're not touching each other. Hook up your positive. You can find that right here by the plus sign, the negative sign. Plus is positive, red. Make sure that's securely hooked up. Keeping these away from each other. Hook up your negative cable. Just got to fight it on there. Figure out a way to get it. Wiggle it a little bit so it ensures a good connection. Now you're transferring voltage. If I hit these two together, we're going to spark. Kind of want to avoid that. Won't kill you. Kind of fun. A lot of people think if they can turn the headlights on, the battery's fine. That's not always the case. It takes very little amperage to turn a light on, but it takes a lot of amperage to start the starter. I recommend checking the charging system every oil change. At Sun Valley Automotive, there's never a charge for that. This is Crazy Terry with your car care tip of the day.
Hi, I'm Sandy Kastel. Join me weekly for tips on how to stay fit and fabulous forever on The Sandy Kastel Show. I'll see you there. Hi, and welcome back to The Sandy Kastel Show. I'm here with Marco Varela, and he has so many things going on in his life. And there's something that you and I are going to be doing together.
That's right.
Which is coming up December 1st here in Las Vegas at the Venetian Hotel.
Right.
Right. And it's a one-night only concert appearance. And I'll let you introduce what that's going to be.
Well, we're going to be doing Evita.
Evita.
The musical Evita, which
Yes.
I actually did in college. So I'm still familiar with some of the tunes, but I have to rememorize everything.
And all the music's different because they have a new version of the composer actually rewrote, did some new versions of the music. And there's a new version out with Ricky Martin and a girl that, I know. And
Really?
And with another girl from Argentina that's doing the part, of Eva.
I've been listening to Mandy Patinkin. That's the one I'm...
Really?
Yeah, the version of Mandy Patinkin. That's the one I used to learn it back then.
Forget it.
Oh my God.
Listen to the new version. But you're going to be doing, what role are you going to be playing?
Well, I wanted to be Magaldi.
Yes.
The problem with musical theater for opera tenors is that there are no tenor roles in musical theater. So I figured I wasn't going to get Che Guevara because they wanted a rock sound, which I don't have. I have the notes, I just don't have that rock,
Yeah.
So I figured, okay, I've done Magaldi, let's try Magaldi, and I got the callback for that, but ultimately they picked somebody else.
Right. Okay. So what role are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be one of the military guys.
Okay, so you're going to be dressed up in military attire.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, I'm going, of course, the other role, there's only 2 female roles, and that, as far as I could tell, there was Eva Perón, and then, of course, the mistress. And the mistress is a high soprano, and Ava, of course, is a mezzo second, but high, with a high belt. Plus, I know that there's tons of 30-year-olds out there that are probably legit singers here in town to pull from. So I didn't really expect that I would get the role of Eva. But I just love to be in the cast.
Right.
And so I'm going to be in the aristocracy.
Nice.
Yes, darling.
Yes.
It's going to be me. So we have our first rehearsal, we do, with the aristocracy tomorrow night. When is your first?
I already had one.
Oh, you did?
And then on Saturday and Sunday, I have my next 2.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I wanted, they originally was just going to be on Sunday, but I told them that I wanted to sing my part in whatever the other people, like with everybody else together, so that I can hear all the harmonies and start getting used to that, because that helps me memorize.
So last week they had a choral?
Just for the officers.
Oh, all the officers.
Only the officers.
I see. Okay, so you sang it with the other officers.
Correct.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was very good.
Yeah.
It's not, the music sounds the same to me. I don't know what they changed, but to me it sounds like
the arrangements.
Yeah, the arrangements. Well,
Yes.
they sound the same, but
so
maybe once I
it's-
hear it with the whole orchestra,
maybe it
might
depends
sound
on which
different.
songs. It
Right.
might be some of the lead songs.
Okay.
I don't know, because I did pull it up on YouTube just to see a little bit of it, but I don't know what our rehearsal schedule is yet. I sent them a message. I said, are we rehearsing this weekend?
Right.
Can I get the schedule? They won't give us the schedule until tomorrow night. So
Did they get the music down?
they haven't sent me anything.
Oh,
Not
because they
nothing.
were supposed to send they were going to scan all the music, and I don't know where they're going to send it. And I've looked at it, and
I don't know.
where they
I haven't
did with
received
it.
anything. I haven't received any instructions except to show up Thursday night, and they said that they'll give us all that Thursday night.
Well,
Anyway,
that's
so
going to be stressful.
it'll be well. We're just going to get it on the spot, and I guess we're not getting any chance to rehearse anything before we get there.
Then we're going to have to do the concert style with our music stand.
Probably. But anyway, the opportunity's great, and I hadn't done an audition for over 30 years, so I said,
Oh my gosh.
it was fun. I went in there and
What did you sing?
I sang. You can't sing a song from the show, So,
Right.
So I sang. What did I sing? I sang. I forgot. I did. You caught me off guard. I forgot what I sang. I sang 2 songs, and the piano player looked at me and she said, I did as if I never said goodbye, and then I did Don't Rain on My Parade, but the girl looked at the chart because I brought in my own charts, and she said, "Oh, chords." And I went, "Yeah," and so she said, "Oh, okay, I'll be okay." So I'm sitting there, I'm going, don't tell me not to live, just sit and butter, Don't tell me not to fly. I said, don't tell me not. It was like she was trying to find the chords. It's a different way of playing, She's used to playing the
straight
sheet
music,
sheet
correct.
music,
Right.
Which has the notes underneath, the
Correct.
staff underneath, and she's not used to playing chords. So next time that I do an audition, I'm just going to get the sheet music, I guess, and put it in my
Right.
key. Of course, I had to, I sing in my keys, not necessarily the key that it was originally performed in.
Correct.
You
Good.
But it was fun, and as you know, I think I had Don't Cry for Me Argentina on one of my albums, which was
Right.
the only in Las Vegas album. So I was already very familiar with that, and I love the musical. I've seen it 3 times, but I saw it with Patti LuPone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, back in New York.
Yeah.
And then I saw it down in LA too, but I saw it 3 different times. And the first time I was sitting way, way in the back. Next time I was about in the middle. Third time I was sitting close up, so I got to see it different perspectives. And it's a great musical. And then, of course, the movie with Madonna was very interesting. And I enjoyed that too, but this will be fun. And of course, the purpose for this event is to raise funds for the victims of the attack,
massacre.
The massacre that happened. Oh, I hate that word.
I know, but you gotta say it because that's what happened.
That happened
in
Mandalay Bay here in Las Vegas.
Correct.
Yes.
What I was surprised is how far away the people were. Once they put it, I don't know. I thought it.
Are we going to talk about that?
Well, no, but okay, we're not talking about that. Cut it. No.
Well, okay. Since you brought it up, it's a bad situation. It's a bad situation, and it's not something that any of us thought could ever happen. But obviously, any of this stuff can happen anywhere in the world at any time. So it's hard to walk around in our life and sit here and worry about everything that we do.
Right.
However, I'm sure that they're going to be taking precautions now about situations like that happening. We all walk into the hotels with our suitcases.
Sure.
They never check them, and there's millions and millions of people that come through here all the time. So I don't know how they're going to do that unless they put a metal detector at the front door.
Well, let me tell you something. I worked at the Venetian in Hong Kong. And I went and visited India for about a week. And the people that were showing me around, they said, "Oh, we're going to take you over to see this Buddha in a little island on this lake that's in the middle of the city of Hyderabad in India."
Where?
Hyderabad.
Okay.
Yes. So we drive over to the park, and before you get to the park, they have metal detectors.
With the cars as you're driving?
No. Walking.
Oh, walking.
Walking, like if you were going into an airport.
Just like that.
Just to get into the park.
Okay.
Then we decided, let's get a movie, right? Same thing. Before you get into the mall, everybody goes through a metal detector.
Through the mall.
And then before you get into the movie theater, you go through another metal detector.
And this is in India?
Yeah.
Wow.
So and I'm looking at all this, I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to be here. If it's that dangerous that you need metal detectors in parks and malls and 3 times, that's and the normalization is what's shocking.
Yes. Well, when I was in China in 1994, I went over to Hong Kong, then I went to Macau, and when I went to Macau, of course I said China, but I also went to China. But when I went to Hong Kong, then we went to Macau, I went to the hotel there. This is before Steve Wynn was over there with any of his hotels. And when I went into the casino, they had the metal detector on the door. I mean, that's it. But they only have a door-sized door. They don't have huge glass, open doors like we have. We're very fortunate that we live in America, and it saddens me a lot of what's going on with some people that are not respecting where they come from. I mean, we are still the greatest country in the world as far as I'm concerned, and we have a lot of rights. And we have a lot of freedoms and a lot of things that we take for granted because we're born with, with living in this country and stuff. And there's a lot of people that are now trying to, that recently, have, tried to affect our lifestyle. And we have had a lot of freedoms. We haven't had to worry about those things. We've gone anywhere we wanted. I mean, when I was a kid, I got in my car. I drove to LA by myself. I went all over this country, with a band, and we didn't worry about things. Yes, stuff happened, but it wasn't the kind of things that we're seeing now that are happening.
Yeah, I mean, I went to get my new driver's license, and I don't know when's the last time you got your driver's license.
I'm getting it done like any time now because I've got to go get mine too.
Now you got to get the one with the little star.
The little thing, yeah.
And that's, if you don't have that, you can't fly to certain states. That's scary.
To certain states or certain countries?
No. States.
States? Well.
Within the states. I mean, you can't, I don't remember which ones, but now if you don't have that little star, because you have to bring all these documents to get it, if you attempt to go, I don't know, I'm going to say an example. Say from here to Washington or to
I didn't know
Oregon.
it was for states. I thought it was for going across the border to Canada and into Mexico.
No, this driver license is for flying from one state to another. Not all of them yet, but a lot of them. That's scary. That's scary.
Well, maybe they're just trying to be more safe for us.
Well,
so
yeah,
that would
but
be,
I mean,
maybe it's so that people aren't getting into a certain state, like sometimes that happens, or
but
come
it's
into
all
the
this
country.
Control, and now you won't be able to get out of the city unless you have a passport for Las Vegas. You know what I mean? Where does it stop?
Yeah, but it's only $9.
Oh, of course.
It's only $9 to do it because I'm going to do it. I also just redid my passport, so I could do some traveling. I want to do some more traveling. And I also got the little card, which is like the size of a driver's license, but that's the one that you use to go in and out of Mexico or Canada or into any,
Right.
So, now that we talked about all that stuff,
all the politics are done.
and we don't do politics. But so yeah, life is changing. It's constantly changing, and the things that we do, and these are just things that we have to add to our curriculum. Right. Curriculum. I'm amazed at how how many languages do you speak?
Well, fluently it's just English and Spanish, but with opera you have to be able to pronounce all the Italian and the French and the German because you're expected to. That's just part of the job.
Right.
So my mom is German. She was born in Düsseldorf, Germany, and I will practice with her listening to my German, and I'll have an accent in German, but she can understand me, which is a good thing. So I know if I ever sing, or when I sing German lead or German opera, then they'll be able to understand me. The French is the same thing. I really don't know how to sing in French because to me it makes me very nasal, which are not supposed to happen. Italians, of course, is the best one.
It isn't supposed to sound nasally. It does sound nasally to me.
No, it is.
Yeah.
But when you're singing, you don't want the sound to come through your nose.
To be nasally, right.
You want. But then when you're practicing and you go to the U, and they say no, that's not it. It's U. Well, it sounded like U to me. It's U. It's U.
It's U.
You like forget it. It's in. Let me tell you something. In China, they have great music, modern music, but on the TV they have the Chinese characters on TV, and I'm like, why? I mean, why? And it turns out that unless they have, you do? Go ahead.
Well, because they speak different languages, and the written word can look the same, but they have Cantonese and Mandarin. That's one thing I know. And then even all the villages and stuff, they have their own little different.
So unless they have that, nobody knows what they're singing.
That's right, because they can't understand it.
The only one, isn't that amazing?
I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But the only one, that they can, it's Pekingese opera.
Pekingese?
Yeah. Or Cantonese.
Cantonese.
That's when they actually do pronounce all the tones
of the character,
so that when you're sitting there listening to this, you can actually understand it. But that makes it really weird to the ear.
Okay.
And
it's like when they're over pronouncing it.
No. You have four accents or four tones. You have the straight line, a line that goes up, down, and then on a U shape vowel. So if I say to you ni hao, you and I know it's hello, but you have to say ni hao, then they get it. If you go ni hao, you're saying paper, you're saying table, you're saying something totally different than what the words are.
So ni hao.
So, ni, it's a straight line. Ni hao.
How.
And that's hello.
Ni.
And they have the pinyin system, which is our vocabulary, our alphabet.
Okay.
And they'll have the lines, and that's how you know where the tone,
the vowels,
direction should go to. Yeah. So it's actually easier to sing in Chinese for me, or Mandarin, than in French. Because it's
because you can figure
it's pure
it out.
Vowels. No, it's just pure vowels. It's like Italian.
When you go to Hawaii.
Right, and you don't have to do the tones. Right.
Right.
And you don't have to do the tones because they don't get it anyway. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Just a joke. No, but if I had to do the tones, like picking there's no way I would need to live there and learn all that stuff. But
well, I thought I was going to learn something on my way over on the flight.
Yes.
I had a book.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to learn some words, for China, Chinese. I was like, no way. I mean, it was confusing to me. I didn't, but I got a chance to go into Shanghai and then Beijing, and then I went to Singapore, which is a different country too, and beautiful.
Don't chew gum and don't throw it on
do not chew it, because if you spit it on the ground, you are going to jail.
Right.
That's right, or $500 fine or whatever it was, and don't take anything because they'll cut your hand off. I mean, literally, they do not. There's a zero tolerance there.
Right.
But I loved going to all of the Tibet, what? No, what? To all the temples. I loved going to the temples.
Okay.
I went to the Winter Palace, stuff, and it's huge. It's something. It's just like when I went to Rome. You can see these things on TV. You can see them in books, but until you step foot in that country, and then you look up, and these buildings are like massively tall, and the temples and the palace, it was huge. And then you walk up all these steps and you walk into it, and it's like huge. And then they've got all the little, the little houses on the sides where all the concubines live, whatever. But it was beautiful, gorgeous. I really loved traveling, and I do love traveling. And it's sad that we have to worry right now about traveling to different places and different parts. I understand. I just spoke with a friend of mine last night who said something's going on over in, and I won't know, there's another country that something's going on in.
Right.
And it's a country that he's from, and it's like and then he's talking about all the repercussions of that are not just going to hit that country, but because it's going to affect us too.
It's a domino effect, right?
It's a domino effect when something happens in another country. And so we're still very blessed to be here in America.
Yeah, but, the one time that, or one place that I felt literally like I went back in time is in Venice, in St. Mark's Cathedral. Venezia, yes, in St. Mark's Cathedral.
Yes.
I mean, you go in. They still have mass. Between the masses, you have all the tourists go in and but I actually went to a mass there, and you can, because everything is the original. It's not Disneyland. It's not fake.
You mean they didn't tear it down and put another hotel in its place?
No. Oh my God. Everything. I literally felt back in time.
You feel like you're back in time when you're in Europe, yes, or another.
When you have the chance to just sit and let everything envelop you and it's all from hundreds of years ago. I mean, it's really amazing.
It's all from hundreds of years ago, but it has all the modern technology.
Well, some of it. Well, I mean,
they have to have some stuff. They have to have computers, and then they have to have for the phones and.
Yeah, but I mean, not inside the church.
No.
Yeah.
But I'm saying some of the buildings
and
the hotels and
absolutely.
Things like that. So, but you still have that feeling that you're, back in time a little bit. So, what? Let's take a little quick pause here for our sponsors, and we'll be right back. And I want to talk more about some other things that you're doing. Okay. We'll be right back in a few minutes with Marco Varela, and here's a message from our sponsors. Hi, I'm Sandy Kastel, the founder of WIMA. What is WIMA? WIMA is Women in Music and Arts, empowering artists of all ages through education, mentoring, and scholarships. You can find out more about us at wimafoundation.org.
Retrospects is a purveyor, if you will, of historical eyewear. Retrospects is located on the second floor, right across from the chandelier bar. So when you look at our store from the outside, it looks like there isn't much going on in here. And then you open the drawers. We actually carry authentic pieces from the late 1890s to the 1990s. We have almost 3,000 pieces in here. It's like a treasure trove reveal. We do have a collection of new glasses that we have reproduced ourselves. It's called the Cuthbert and Chen collection. The safe is our jewel. It's our baby. We love it. It's from 1903. Weighs as much as a car. It's solid steel. We use the safe to hold our most precious pieces, our museum collection, if you will. People come in to find glasses that are not something they're going to find everywhere else, not something all their friends are wearing, and something that they can tell that story. We sell stories as much as we sell glasses. We have pieces that we can associate with very famous people from history, movies, special events that happened in the past. And some of the favorites are the Ray-Ban shooter that Johnny Depp wore in Fear and Loathing of Las Vegas, the beautiful frame France Parisian plastic aviator worn by Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon. Retrospects is not just about glasses. It's about the experience. It's about how these glasses make you feel. We are a full-service optical shop, somewhere where guests can come to get repairs, restoration, can put their prescription in, can get them a quick pair of sunglasses for the pool, and can give them a really great, just fun experience.
Hi, and welcome back to the Sandy Kastel Show. I'm here with Marco Varela. And, of course, we've been talking about all kinds of things today, including what you did with your short and then starting your film, working on the film.
Right.
And I know, I know you through opera, of course. And I know you're not doing as much with that right now because you're focused so much on this film.
Right.
And that seems to have taken over a lot of your time and your energy and your interest. So then you just mentioned something about possibly doing a TV show.
Okay, so
this is really taking over your life.
Well, it's all right. So with the film, I'm working with an illustrator to make a comic book.
Okay.
I'm working with a writer. She just finished the TV pilot based on the script.
Oh, based on the
film.
film.
And I have two other writers who are working on a novel on their own style based on the script.
Okay.
All right. Now, because you have to be an entrepreneur and you can't really count on just
one thing
of people just throwing millions of dollars at you, you have to think of other things to work on. So there's a possibility that I'm looking at, and I think a lot of people have done it, that if you can do a full feature for about $10,000, you can make close to $100,000. If you get $100,000, and of course you have a worldwide market, you have Amazon, you have Hulu, you have Netflix, you have all kinds of things now that you didn't have before, then you could make possibly close to $1 million. So I'm considering looking into doing those kinds of things. And I actually, there's a guy here in town that is a specialist on indie films. So I'm gonna go talk to him to see what are the how he can help me find the resources. The camera guy, the DP, because if I can get it for $10,000, then I have an idea to write a full feature of two guys that get trapped in a room and how they need to get out.
Don't tell your story.
Yeah. No, this is very basic. Trust me, this is very basic.
It doesn't matter. Somebody will take it. Don't take that.
Yeah. Got it. Anyway, so then I do have some other friends like yourself. You have a TV show, and there's another guy that just made a TV show with TV Azteca, and it's like, well, I'm gonna see if I can do one. So I called the guys for Azteca, Azteca America, the Spanish network, and I was asking them about some of their prices, the half-hour prices and the hour prices, and they look pretty reasonable. So then I'm thinking, okay, well, why couldn't I do like a half-hour sitcom?
There you go.
That's
now, all they are is a half hour.
It's just a half hour.
What do they have, like 13 of them in a season?
Yes. Right. So if I can do, and I don't know if I'm a comedy writer, but I can certainly put something together for a half-hour show. And if I can, look at the production side, because the paying the Azteca America guys, that's just for the transmission fees. I still have to produce it.
Right.
So if all that works out, and it seems like it might, if that works out, then you can start making money with the sponsors, which then I'm thinking, well, let's go to an hour show, like CSI is an example. I don't know if it's not going to be like that, but who knows?
Yes.
Got to try something. And those guys from Azteca America told me, yeah, if you wanted to also take it nationwide, you could. You just have to talk to the guys in LA.
Sure.
So I'm thinking maybe through these other venues, I'll be able to self-fund the movie.
There you go.
You know, I mean, you just got to think of
So what
everything.
you're doing is looking at other avenues of funding the movie, because there's even things like GoFundMe and different, you know, there's different groups out there. I don't know all of them, but you know, people get funded for projects on those things too.
Right.
Nonprofits and, you know, different people doing recordings. And how come I haven't done that yet, John? You know, I know about it. There are other opportunities. Yes. Right. You know, there is another opportunity too, that I'm doing some work with a company that sets up public companies. Okay. And what they do is you have to have 25 investors to set up a public company.
Okay.
They can be as little as, it depends on what you want to raise. Say you want to raise $250,000.
Right.
So you can decide, okay, for 25 investors, you know, 250 divided by 25, what is that amount? And you can say for that amount, or you could do it for less if, you know, you just need a starting capital of 100,000, you know, whatever that is. You can have your 25 investors. And then of course there's everything you have to do is through the SEC, you know, and so you have to have somebody that knows how to set it up. This company that I do some things with definitely knows how to set it up.
Okay.
And then they set up then they put together a PPM for you, which is what you give to your investors.
So you're raising money by selling shares.
What you're doing is, but you have to have the PPM first. There's actually, you know, and that's the other thing. When you're raising funds, you have to be very careful the way you do it, because you can't just say, "Hey, I want to raise some money. I need an investor."
Okay.
You're not supposed to do it that way. There's certain rules and regulations you're supposed to follow, but setting it up like that, you're setting up a public company, and then you're getting your investors, your 25 investors, and then they set up a PPM for you that you can then show to people and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Here's my project. Here's my film project.
What does PPM stand for?
Proposal. I don't know what it stands for. Sorry. I just know the general stuff, okay? I'm a performer. What do I know? Anyway, but I just, you know, introduce people. But the point is that it's a performer or proposal or whatever that is. It's a PPM, but it's something that they put together, and so that it's professional. Correct. And it shows like a prospectus, you know, will show you what you can make, you know, what you can earn.
Okay, good.
And it puts all the information in there. And for instance, if somebody invests a certain amount, then they get a certain percentage each year.
Sure.
And then they can have stocks. They get some
equity,
some stocks, and then they can convert them. They're convertible notes or something.
Nice.
So now you've got, you know, people that can invest in you that are small amounts, small little increments, and then you can also have another thing that you raise funds for the bigger projects and stuff, you know, but you can set this all up through that, and it's a way of helping you find investors for your projects. If you want to know more about it, just call Sandy Kastel at 702-348-5707. Anyway,
I'm calling you. I'm calling you as soon as
But I got to tell you, Ian Dixon is the gentleman that I work with, and he's absolutely fabulous. And I didn't mean to make this an advertisement, but I know people who are looking for investments for just this kind of thing, and it's a way that you can do it without just doing it blindly. And once you get actually set up as the public as a public company, and then of course you have to go through all the steps, and it's a step-by-step process.
Correct.
But once you do that, then you can put an offering out there. Now you're reaching the world,
right? And
the world is looking for new startups that are doing projects.
Beautiful.
Anyway, enough of that.
I love it.
But you mentioned looking.
I'm happy I'm here
investors.
today.
Yes. So, all right. So I know that you have been mentored by other people, and also you have done some mentoring. So tell me a little bit about that, because I know we've got to wrap it up pretty quickly.
Oh.
John gave me the notice, you know.
Okay.
This hour flies by so quickly.
Well, when you're studying in college, you could say your voice teachers are your mentors,
Right.
But once I went to live in Seattle and I auditioned for Seattle Opera and I started with them, then those teachers that you find through them, they do become more than just a teacher. They become your friend, they become your mentor. And my voice teacher over there, as a matter of fact, sent me to do some master classes with somebody she knew at the Met.
Oh
So
my gosh, that's great.
so I was there for about a week, and I would go to the Met every day, and we'll go backstage, and they have a bunch of rehearsal rooms, and he would coach me on things. So that was really, really cool. Really cool.
So that's great. And then you in turn have worked with other people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm a voice teacher, because you have to know a lot more, but I can certainly start you on your way and give you the basics on how to do the proper vocal without getting into bad habits that will hurt your voice.
Me. Yeah.
Right. and I have given people some lessons. I'm giving a friend of mine right now some voice lessons here and there. In fact, after this, that's what I'm
Really?
going to go do.
Okay.
Because he wants to. He's tuneful, but he doesn't have the right support. So every time he changes a vowel, the sound of the voice changes completely. The quality needs to be consistent. So that's what I'm teaching him how to do.
Great.
And
Great.
beautiful.
So what piece of advice would you give? One piece of advice that you would give to somebody starting out in any of your areas that you
Pick one.
Yeah, I know. As an opera singer, as a film director, as a TV, as a
Okay, so follow your passion. Just follow your passion. That's the only thing. Because if you're following what you like, you're gonna be more concentrated on it, and you're more likely to be successful.
That's wonderful advice. And I'm gonna pull something from what you said today in the show today, as you expressed. Every time you wanted to do something, what did you do? You went out, you got the information, and you learned. Just like doing that audition for
That's right.
For this show that you were just in.
You have to be an
With
entrepreneur
Copeland.
nowadays.
Yes.
You can't just sit back and wait for things to happen. And I got really tired of having to, I call it begging for work,
Ah.
because
Yes.
finding a job is, to me, it's like begging for work. It's
Yeah.
like, please me, please. You can state, hey, I would like to be part of your company, which is a better way to do it.
Yes.
I can help you this way. Or you can not worry about it and go do your own thing.
Perfect. So pursue your passion, be persistent, and learn. Continue to learn on a daily basis, because that's what we're out there doing. And I know that's what I've had to do. If I want to know something, I have to learn how to do it. Just like John,
Right.
he started with me, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
Learn how to
and
learn.
When I went to KLAV, and here he is today. He's got his own station. So
Perfect.
Thank you, John Stiles. I always want to give him a little plug in the show. And thank you, Marco Varela, for being here so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited to see the new film
Absolutely.
or TV show or novel or
All of them. All of them.
all of the above. Anyway, come back and see us again. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Are you looking for investment properties here in Las Vegas? Hi, I'm Sandy Kastel. I can help you find those choice properties for your portfolio. Call me at 702-348-5707. I'm Sandy Kastel.